So today we're going to demo how to install AMQ streams onto OpenShift. In this first step, I am logging into the OpenShift web console. When I log in, I can see a list of projects, and then I'm logging in to OpenShift via my terminal. This will allow me to use the command line CLI to do the install, as well as later on deploy an application. So I'm using the project AMQ Streams demo that has been previously created. If I wasn't sure if I was on the project, I could type that OC project command. Now I'm going to create a secret. The reason that this is needed is to ensure that I can talk to the registry with Red Hat to actually get the images needed for AMQ streams. If you're using OpenShift 4, which this example is, and you actually did the install, then it might already be linked to the registry and you might be able to skip this step. In this case, I'm using a sample cluster, so I need to set this up so that it can pull the images accordingly. And now I'm saying that it's going to be the default secret to be used when pulling images, as well as when building any applications. So I'm just changing directories to where my image templates live, YAML files. And I'm going to start applying the AMQ streams images. So here I'm installing the actual cluster operator into that specific project. You can see all the various resources that then got created. And some more resources. And finally, we're going to give it a little bit of storage set up so that because it's Kafka, it needs that. And finally, creating an actual topic called My Topic. So my cluster is called My Cluster. The topic is called My Topic. Now we can go back into this web console, look at the various pods that are starting up. Like the cluster operator, you can see that we have Mirror Maker, Kafka Connect, various other Kafka components in here. And you can see that in the logs of the pod itself. Here we have more logs of a different cluster or a different pod for my cluster. You can see it starts up, it's running. And now I'm going to go into Dev Studio to show an application. In this case, we're going to deploy an application that's using Fuse. It's using camel routes to talk to my Kafka cluster. So here's the actual application. It's running with Spring Boot. For the web endpoints, it's using camel servlet, starting at /camel for the root context. And in here, we have XML routes. They're going to use the Kafka component. You can see the link to the brokers using the AMQ Streams demo project and my cluster specifically. We have a consumer route that's going to consume from the Kafka topic and log it out, as well as the producer route going off of a timer that is sending hello world messages to the topic. So we should see some logging for producing as well as consuming. In addition, we have a Java camel route. So it's extending route builder. We're using REST configuration at API context. We will see Swagger docs. If we do a get request at /goodbye, it's going to give us an OK. It's going to log goodbye world, create a message that says goodbye world, and send it to my topic. So when we hit the REST API, we'll be able to see the goodbye message, and otherwise all the messages should be saying the hello world based on what we've seen in those routes. So now I'm switching directories to the directory of my project, and I'm going to run the Maven Fabric 8 deploy command. So it's a Maven command since it's a Maven project, and by using this plugin as a developer, I don't need to worry about creating an image for my container. It actually does that for me. So it allows me to focus on what I do best and writing those camel routes, doing that development. So it's created the image and also deployed it to OpenShift. You can see it created that service and the pod in my project. And if I go into the logs, we can see that I've already got some producer and consumers for Hello World. If I go to routes, this is actually where that API is exposed. So if I click on the URL, nothing's there at the root context, of course. Then /camel/API, be able to get those Swagger docs. So all of that was just by that one line in Camel as well. Very simple to add. Now to hit the goodbye, we just hit the /goodbye. It gave us a response. If we go back and look at the logs in that pod, we should see the goodbye world now. So if we scroll over, there it is. Went through the topic, got consumed via that same consumer.